Hello, my dears, and welcome. I've tried to start this video a few times and I'm a little nervous, and it's Mercury retrograde in Aries, so I'm trying to find the right words for it. But like the title of the video states, we are talking about Gen X today. In the midst of this very confusing, ever-changing eclipse season. It's April 2024 as I record this. It's just all these different things are happening all at the same time. It's chaos energy. And I had a download, closer to the beginning of eclipse season back in March of this year, that a lot of people are going to be just waking up gently in their own ways. I know I'm not the only one to really be prophesizing that or to be seeing that as oracles. And so I wanted to see if the astrology matched. And it does. And it does. Yeah, like our Gen X friends, few of them very specifically, I'm going to give some months and some years as to people that are like getting rocked by this eclipse portal right now, getting rocked. So please welcome to my table. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Sarah. I am a channel. I channel information from source for the collective. My quest is to find and help train or guide the new leadership team for the awakened new earth, which is what is building right now. And as the old world crumbles, a lot of people right now are very confused, whether their entire life is exploding, imploding. There's so many different things are happening in a micro as well as a macro scale. And so I'm here to offer validation for you and to kind of help you make sense of the woo-woo and what's going on. So this video is accessible and can be watched by anyone. I would just be so grateful for anyone that is normally at my table. If you know someone that's a Gen Xer, whether that be your parents, whether that be your friends, your contemporaries, your comrades, or coworkers, please send them this video, and I'll give you some dates for some birthdays that are going on. So please pause this video, go grab your coffee or tea, and we're gonna chit chat. And grab your journal if you'd like. I have no idea what kind of stone this is, but a dear friend gave it to me, so I'm gonna pause like a makeup influencer. I'm gonna pause the video, go grab your things, come right back. Okay, cool. So let's look at this as lenses, because that's, I wear these big old glasses and we talk about things in lenses. So first, who is Gen X? Sarah, what are you talking about? Who is this generation? So Gen X, what did I say? Gen X is waking up whether they like it or not. And so Gen X is the people that are born from 1965 to 1980. And so that generation, like I myself, born in 1987, I am a millennial, so I'm the generation, is it right after that? Yes, right after that. And so I want to highlight, I also have a digital download called the Generational Quests. I believe it's $2.22, and it kind of talks about each generation and what their soul mission is as a collective. And so this generation really, they had kind of some of the coolest childhoods. They really also had some of the most traumatic childhoods, and they're kind of stuck in this middle ground of wait, people are dancing on TikTok and they're making millions of dollars, and what the older generation are boomers are getting paid out and they're making all this money. They're kind of bitter for good reason. No joke, no lie. And so I love how the planets are really giving them an efficient catapult into their awakening. And so we must always be gracious. We know at this table to be, kind, not nice. If someone's screaming at you, obviously set a healthy boundary there. But we must always be kind and welcoming. As awakened ones, we can't have the I told you so. You've been calling me a conspiracy theorist for too long and I've been right about the whole thing. Yeah, be gracious. Seriously, that's some deep inner adolescent things. If you're not going to welcome people as they awaken and question their reality, come on. We're better than that around here. So Gen X, 1965 to 1980. And so I am specifically talking about, and I'll go to the months as well, and I'm going to talk about the astrology and why this is happening. Well, first, what does waking up even mean? It's going to look different for everyone. And so it's not so much that you come out of your reality and you're I'm not afraid anymore. And all these things, everything's okie dokie. And I just want to go meditate under the Bodhi tree. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's just really recognizing in, maybe a Matrix movie type of a way that you are not this human body. You are not this human avatar. You are not this meat suit. I am consciousness running this meat suit. My soul, my consciousness comes from a different time and space and has come down to play human during the time of the awakening. If you're here on this planet, you are a part of something bigger than yourself. Wherever you are in your life, wherever you are at work, wherever you are in your awakening, whatever that actually means for you, just know that you're right on time. Yeah, I always pop up in your feed when you've been repeating similar patterns, you don't understand what's going on, whether you're in corporate and your company is just not listening to you the way that it used to, you feel as though you're like dating the same type of people, you don't understand what's going on. That's what I'm here for, to help you make sense of it. So let's look at, I'll give some dates. So if you want to write this down, let's see, from May to June 1973, September 1973, the most affected, this is when your birthday, October 1973, very heavily affected, March to April 1974, and August to September 1974. Why on earth would those people be getting affected, Sarah? Why on earth are you talking about these people? Let's break it down. So those are the dates. Now I want to talk about the lens of the eclipse portal that we're in, the eclipse season that we're in, which is on March 25th. We had a full moon eclipse at 5 degrees of Libra. Right over here, which is for a lot of these people exactly where their natal Pluto is, their deepest transformative planet. And the months that I reference is when, give or take, Pluto was actually at 5 degrees. And so this will affect the entirety of like all the babies born in 1973 and 1974, but these are the months that by degree Pluto was at 5 degrees of Libra. So the new moon eclipse, the big gulp that everybody's been talking about, is happening on the 8th of April or the 9th, depending on where you are on the planet, at 19 degrees of Aries, right over here. That's where this generation's natal Chiron is. Oh gosh, I forgot, like the transiting Chiron. Where is he? I don't know. He's gone. He's gone. Oh, here he is. I found him. Okay, sorry. So, there we go. That's Chiron in the sky. My apologies about that. Oh, this is your chair. I just have to move it over to the side. If you're new to this table, it's literally just me and you transcending time and space and having coffee or tea, and we're talking about astrology. So you're safe here. You're safe to express yourself. You're safe to cry. A lot of my one-on-one clients, and I'm not over-exaggerating, they come to my table and sit down, and a lot of them just start crying just for showing up for themselves, just to show up for yourself. And so I may look like a youngster, but my consciousness is millions of years old. I've been around for a very long time. So I have a whole playlist on my past life tales. There's about 12 maybe that I have recorded on YouTube. So those are available for you if you want to see like different lenses of Sarah. And a lot of the time people, when I meet them in person, they're like, you remind me of someone. Yeah, it's not our first time working together in this lifetime. And it's also, I'm an archetype. My name is Sarah. So it's a very common thing for people all over the world to be like, yeah, you're good. I'm safe around you. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here for you. So we have, what did I say? We'll talk about the full moon eclipse first. So that was back in March 2024. It's April as I record this. So it was on the 25th where we had the sun in Aries and we had the moon in Libra. This is the general astrological wheel right here, which starts in Aries and goes all the way around to Pisces. So when the sun is in Aries, Aries is the I am statement. It's kind of the head, like the infant baby ram. You can tell I'm an Aries sun, and it's usually like you can tell very, very defined and prominent facial features. That's the mark of an Aries. And so the sign of Libra And I have the North Node and the South Node because when that's the axis that eclipses happen on, is when the North and the South Node. And I have a ton of resources for you if you're interested. I did put together a playlist on the longer range transit. So I have an entire playlist on the North Node in Aries, what that means, as well as the relationships are drastically changing. We'll talk about that. That's the Libra transit over here. So the sign of Libra, this is the we are or I balance is their statement. And so we know with the Libra scales, they never just like click into place and it's like everything's balanced and everything's fine. It's a constant ebb and flow. We all go through seasons, we all go through changes. And so Pluto, and natal Pluto being in the sign of Libra. And you know, these people, when I was doing research into this, and this is an entire generation, it's like they're fair and like fair, like, how do I say? Not fair, like balanced, they are, but it's sometimes they, how do I say, that can get taken advantage of. And so there's a lot of childhood issues, a lot of childhood traumas, a lot of core wounds, and that has a lot to do with Chiron as well, that, you know, came from parents that, and this is without judgment, they literally did the best that they could with the tools that they had. Like a lot of the times, new parents, they have no idea what they're doing. No idea what they're doing. People adulting in life, nobody has any idea what they're doing. This awakening, we're all figuring it out together. So know that you're safe here, and I'm in no way judging or being just condescending, like you're just waking up. It's not like that. It's really just, I'm offering validation for a lot of you that what you're experiencing, these powerful dreams, the ringing in your ears, the body aches, maybe lower back, not like more sexual area, but like kidney area. That's, you know, Libra runs the kidneys. And so you might be having headaches, not sleeping. Food is very weird. You might be having digestion issues, bowel issues, all different things, irritability, frustration. Your whole, you know, existence is just kind of like, what the fudge is going on? Yeah, welcome. You're not alone and you're safe here. So Pluto being in the sign of Libra is very much, a lot of things changed and a lot of things were not, I love that the word fair, I'm using it in so many different, it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair what happened to them. It wasn't fair how quickly they had to grow up. And yes, there's a lot of like, it was great, all this well, everything's fine. But it's like, no, you deserved nurturing, and you deserved, you know, a lot of these people within this generation had mothers that were overly emasculated because either their fathers had to go to war or had to do things that they really didn't want to do, and the mother had to wear both hats. And so when fathers came back from certain wars or certain situations, they were still so wounded and so traumatized and did not have the capacity or in any way the ability to say, I'm having mental health issues. No, it's like drink a whiskey and smoke cigarettes and get back to work and figure it out on your own. So a lot of this is, you know, how do I say, was on purpose, but, you know, a lot of the mothers of the, I keep wanting to say Gen Z, a lot of the mothers of Gen Xers had to stay in an overly masculine way and never got out of that because that would be so traumatic for them. It'd be so traumatic for the father figure. There's so much to unpack there, but just know that the way that you were raised was perfect. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your mom. There's nothing wrong with any of that. I'm just offering validation that now is the time to really look at that in a way that is safe, but that we don't get lost in the process. I have a whole video on getting lost in the process. I have a whole video on the end of therapy and why things are really changing. I'll highlight the work of Ann Tucker as well, because we can't really get lost in repeating the old story over and over again. We can't say, yeah, this happens to me. Yeah, this happens to me. Yeah, this happens to me. We don't label our traumas on our lapel. It's kind of, that's really, we are leaders. We have things to do. You have kids. You have a company to run. You have people that are looking to you. So we can't slow down here, but you do need a safe space to take that real trauma, whether you've labeled it as a big T or a little t trauma, and put it down and say, yeah, that happened, but I'm going to move on with my life and I'm going to be better. So pardon me for that little rant, but I think it was on purpose. So natal Pluto, we'll just look at a lens of that, which is our deepest transformative planet. Again, it is a generational planet. And so how do I say? It's a phoenix planet. It's a slow burner where things fall apart and then we get to rise back up out of the ashes and create something new. So finding Like the Pluto, it's literally all I keep hearing in my head. And when I'm talking to you, like my guides show me pictures over here. I do very quantum work. And then I usually have like another past life going on over here. And you know, it's very, I tried recording like the intro a few times and I just got a little nervous because like Gen X, they are hard-headed. And so to offer a safe space for them to feel and to cry like is a little like, it's like sometimes when I have to like talk to Leo, I'm like, I don't wanna. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, Gen X, you're worthy of love. Just saying. And it's okay to feel. It's like, yeah, like a lot of them were raised with like 80s movies and they're just like so pure and they just believe in magic. It's just, don't you forget about me. It's like I'm just seeing like the end of the Breakfast Club and it's just like, yeah. It's just, but they had all of these artists that they idealized and all these movie stars that they idealized, but there was so much of their parents that didn't believe in the magic anymore. So like, yeah, you can watch those movies, but you'll never become that. Like, my guy, you can do whatever you want in this world. There's no archetype or how do I say? There's no blueprint, especially in eclipse season. So I love that this is waking you up. I'm sorry, I'm going on little tangents. So natal Pluto, we've talked about. Eclipses. So normally full moons, we're going to look at it as a lens. Normally a full moon is when the sun and the moon are in opposition of each other. When they're in complete opposition at the exact, like when the sun is in Aries at 5 degrees and the moon is in Libra at 5 degrees, that's a full moon. And so we know that, you know, everybody becomes the werewolf on full moons. We know that. We have that language. We understand. And it's usually when something is being highlighted, when we're releasing something that we have not been privy to before. So for this to be conjunct Pluto, it's like the universe. I use the term God brazenly around here, and it just means every single particle of the air you breathe all the way to the farthest point in the star system. So God basically took a freaking hose, a fire hose of divine light, and just shot it gutturally through your deepest transformation. It was like, you're good. You're good. I feel like this awakening for a lot of the Gen Xers is going to be, they're just going to wake up and be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing things the same way anymore. And it's without pomp and circumstance. It's without soapboxing. They're very efficient. They're very like, let's get things done. So I'm hopeful that this can offer some validation for what you're experiencing right now, because it's not as if they're confused. It's literally like God's given them a mulligan in a way. And so I really like that. So that full moon eclipse for, what did I say? So May to June 1973 has more to do with the Chiron. So this October 1973, March 1974, April 1974, also August 1974 to September 1974, and then November, or pardon me, I'm getting ahead of myself. November 1973, Pluto at 5 degrees of Libra. October 1973, both Chiron and Pluto were together. March 1974 to April 1974, both were a big part of it. And then August 1974 to September 1974, that was Pluto. Really, by degree, on top of your natal Pluto. Like this full moon eclipse on top of your natal Pluto. And so that's what we know about full moons. Eclipses, we hand the reins over to God, the God of our understanding. And it's if our soul has kind of gone off track or gone off course, the universe will slap you back on course and say, this is the way I want you to go. And I really love that God is being efficient in his processes. And again, I use the term God brazenly. I use the term him because that is the amalgamation of understandings that I have. Please do not get triggered by that. Put in the universe, Gaia, all that is. If God is a female for you, that's amazing. There's no judgment. I'm just using this language because that's what resonates with my human avatar, Sarah. So now, the moon scoots. The moon is in Pisces right now, so we're all a little bit emotional. And now we're getting over to the big gulp, which is when the sun and the moon transiting Chiron, I'm not going to reach anymore, and your natal Chiron is all at 19 degrees of Aries. And so this is a lot. When we have a Chiron return is when, okay, what is a return, Sarah? So it was 1919 when I said that. Oh my God, I love this. So when we have a solar return, it's when the sun is in the same point in the sky as it was when we were born. That's a birthday.
You know, when we have a Mars return, Mars is our assertive planet and it's our aggressive planet. And so Mars returns happen about every 2 years. So I'm sure you've heard about the terrible twos. That's a Mars return. When the kiddo is like, that's what that is. Chiron in myth was the centaur, the wounded healer, the wounded warrior. You know, he was born as a more docile and contemporary centaur in, you know, the mix of all of there were more wild beasts, things like that. And so he was the teacher of Achilles and Hercules. I won't butcher his story. You can, you know, do some DuckDuckGoing on that and do some research on Chiron. But so when we have a Chiron return, when Chiron is at the same place where it was when you were born, it's like a wound to who we are. It's a wound, it's like that wince inside of yourself. And it usually happens about every 50 to 51 years. Midlife crisis. So this generation, these people are having their midlife crisis supercharged by an eclipse, by a new moon eclipse. Holy God, how are you breathing? Like, how are you handling this? This is absurd. Like, I had a client session the other day with someone who was, you know, born around this time, and it was so fascinating. I showed up at her house and I was like, how are you alive? She's like, I don't know what I'm doing. She's like, I was like, how are you breathing? Can I just hold you? Can I just hug you? And she's like, yeah, that would be nice. Like, she was laughing through it and was like, yeah, you know, this is the way. They can handle a very powerful sword. They can wield such a powerful sword. Like, it's just so beautiful. So I want to talk about lenses again. So new moons are when the sun and the moon are in the same point in the sky together. It's the perfect time to manifest, the perfect time to plant seeds for what we do want. And I am really here I don't want to lose you in the woo-woo in any capacity. You know, I am working my restaurant job on Monday on the day of the eclipse. And every time I went to release the shift, God was like, no, you're supposed to be there. And so I'm not doing any massive ceremony. I'm not doing anything where I'm just dancing naked under the moon or doing any of that woo-woo. I'm just going to be of service. That is one of the most important things in my life. It's one of my top 5 values, is to be of service. Because yeah, this is affecting me very intensely, but my soul, you know, I'm a 33 life path and projector in human design, and I'm here to help you make sense of this. So I accept that role, and I'm gonna be waitress in that day. I'm excited about that. It's gonna be a really fun day. And I know fun's a strong word. I know. And so we have all of these lenses in the world right now in April of 2024. It's literally chaos energy, My April 2024 introductory video, which is for free on my YouTube. Definitely go check that out. I'll put the link to that below. It's called Be a Pioneer. So I understand that you got things to do. I got things to do as well. I understand that you have traumas. I have traumas as well. There's no competition as to what someone's going through is better or worse or more difficult than the other. But it is important to reach out, to ask for someone to help listen to you, and know that you're not alone. This is a whole generation of people that are experiencing this in such a powerful way. The entire planet is going through something more powerful than even 2020. Yeah, because we're banding together. And human beings, and that has a lot to do with the Pluto and Aquarius. I have a whole playlist on the longer transits. I have part 1 and part 2 of Pluto and Aquarius. So definitely go check those out. Those are all available for you for free on my YouTube channel. Please go check that out. And so a lot of this is happening in a way where, oh my God, yeah, Pluto's going to be trining your natal Pluto soon, my guy. You're just very supported in a very beautiful way. And so I just lost my train of thought. Sometimes my tism is and so it's my apologies. I'm all over the place. So we've already talked about the Chiron return. We've talked about the lens of April 2024, the entirety of 2024. We've talked about the new moon, what that means. We are in chaos energy. Conjunct by degree, my guy. Okay, so May to June 1973, Chiron was in Aries at 19 degrees. September 1973, Chiron was in Aries at 19 degrees. October 1973, you have both of these. March 1974 to April 1974, you have both of these. And the rest are about Pluto. Sick. Okay, we did it. So, and even the lens of just Chiron and Aries alone, this is this is about like the wounds to who you are. And so natally, this placement says you weren't allowed to be yourself in childhood. You weren't allowed to fully express yourself. You had to kind of be like the ba-dum-bum and kind of like, and I get it. You know, my father's party trick when I was growing up was I would drink the foam off of his Coors Light can. His Coors Light cans, pardon me. Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it. Just let it fall down. Things move a lot around here. It's a palavras certas kind of thing, which is a Portuguese phrase. It means right words. It means when I say something and something falls down or I stub my toe, it means like God's talking to you. Listen to that. And so I get it. I get it. You were the ones that were thrown in the back of the station wagon and no seatbelts and stuff like that. And now you're stuck in the middle of this, like the younger generations, they're so enlightened and so powerful. But also like the younger generation right behind you, we broke the mold of the systems where, you know, there's this video that I've seen before where this woman, I think she's a Gen Xer, she's talking about like, oh, look at you with your gluten intolerances and your sensitivities and stuff like that and blah, 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 blah. Could you imagine? Like a lot of these generational, like the Gen Xers, they probably just have some gluten insensitivities. They just want to poop normally. Just saying. I'm just saying. So we must have empathy and compassion and kindness. So because God is basically giving them an efficient handhold through this, yeah, they've been through enough. Yeah, you've been through enough, my dear. You've really been through enough. So please be kind to yourself during this time period. And I really hope that this can offer some validation that you're not losing your mind. Everything's falling apart on purpose. The God of your understanding will never give you more than you can handle. We signed up for this and you have a very specific contract. And it's literally all you have to do is look at the trauma, look at what happened, and be like, that's not here and now. That's not happening now. I'll give an example. Waitress in my human life. I have to say, I came from corporate and thank you so much for COVID, I never went back. I've been training teams for over 10 years. My credentials in my human life, I am very, very capable and worthy to offer you this information. And I never went back to the 3D world. I waitress and I feel very, very grateful about that at a really nice, fancy little East Coast Island restaurant. So this is all a beautiful thing. So I'm not judging you in any capacity, but I just want to show you how trauma can really affect you in ways that might not make sense. So I'll be, clearing up a table after they've eaten their mains. And, for the filet that we have, the filet mignon, it comes with potatoes and a veggie. And every once in a while, doesn't happen all the time, but every once in a while, there's, a gentleman, maybe Gen X, maybe Boomer, I'm not really sure, that will eat all the potatoes and all of the steak and not even touch the rab, like not even look at the rab at all. And so I'll just ask, the cutlery's in the proper place for me to clear it. It's like, are you all finished with this? And I'll just sometimes make a joke if I'm having a good time at the table and be like, what, no vegetables today? They will immediately regress back to, nope, when I was growing up, my mom told me that I couldn't leave the table unless I finished my vegetables and I'm not fitting, I don't need to eat those vegetables. No, ma'am, no. And like immediately, that wounded inner child comes right out, takes over the human avatar, maybe the inner teenager, and just expresses itself in ways that it needs to express itself, and then go right back in. Yeah, your inner child never goes away. Your inner teenager never goes away. They live inside of you, and we must parent them in ways that we couldn't get parented in our life. Yeah, I know I do very quantum work, but I can't literally time travel and go back to, the late 80s, early 90s and teach my parents how to love me and teach my parents what I needed as a projector and a very empathetic and telepathic child. I can't do that. I couldn't tell them that I was getting all these ear infections because I was hearing everything and it was gross. Yeah, tons of information already I have playlist after playlist on my human story, so go check that out. I won't repeat myself here. It's not about me, this is about you. It's about you. So know that the universe and the planets are efficiently helping you go from one place to the next. Efficiently. that's it. I think that's it. Yes, please reach out directly. My email address is always in the description, in my about section, wherever it's as accessible as can be. Please reach out directly. We can book a one-on-one session, just a processing session, which is like a chit chat, which is kind of like therapy for lack of a better term, but I can't really use that term. But I can help you really look at this and say, that's not here and now. Yes, that affected you up until this moment, but we can't even get lost in the somberness of like, oh Jesus, I'm this age and now I have to do all this inner work. It's not as hard as you think it's going to be. You don't have to lose yourself in the process. You don't have to lose yourself in, oh, now I have to have a morning routine. Now I have to do this. Now I have to do this. Now I have to do this. No, I've said this so many times before. I want you to look at everything in this world like a cafeteria line and take what resonates with you and then leave what doesn't. Yeah, we're on a bumpy road. We're on an efficient track to an awakening. And I don't even want to call it spiritually awakening. We're just questioning and we're just figuring out what is best for ourselves. But here at my table, we like to be efficient in our processes. I was efficient in corporate, and I know I do long range videos and I'm not very good at like the short ones, but I have a lot to say, so I'm going to say it to you. But right now, I really hope that my intention was to offer you validation, a little bit of astrological understanding, some tools that you could use. Talk to someone that you really respect. And, this can be for my corporate leaders. And I have a whole corporate court jester program if you're interested in a very like intensive and efficient, like Sarah comes to you and I can help out with your team. So definitely send me an email and we'll set up a one-on-one FaceTime to see if I'm the right quantum healer for you. But what I recommend for my corporate people, if you are in that space, or for someone that is here at my table, if you're just waking up, talk to one VIP person that you trust, one of your ride or dies, and say, even send them this video and be like, what do you think of this? What does that mean to you? There's so much that can happen when you feel safe to get it out. I would journal, if that's your language, and writing it out with a pen and paper. It gets to the unconscious and the subconscious. How do I feel about what Sarah just said? How am I processing what's going on in my life right now? And I really don't advocate for therapy in the traditional way. Again, I have a whole video on the end of, I call it like therapy. If you're constantly talking about that childhood trauma, your body doesn't know the difference. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference. You're reliving it over and over again. So you need someone safe to unpack what's going on in a very efficient way. I can help you with that. Yeah, if you're new to my table, I pack a lot, like sometimes like 6 months of work into one YouTube video. And I'm so grateful for YouTube for teaching you about the quantum multiverse. Yeah, we're transcending time and space, having coffee and tea and talking about astrology and talking about what you're experiencing and your awakening in a way that might not make sense. But truly, my quest is to help powerful leaders make sense of the woo-woo. You don't have to leave your life and go on retreats and do all of these things. It's not like that. It's just being sovereign and speaking from I statements and not being what your parents created you to be. Be yourself. Yeah, this generation is feeling it. They are feeling it, whether they know that they're feeling it or not. Be gentle with them. Be kind to them in a way that, and don't be condescending in any capacity. Just say, hey, if you know someone that was born in this time, if you're friends with them, just send them a line. Or just be like, hey, I'm just thinking about you. I hope you're having a great day. I'm very grateful for you. No expectations. Just say something nice. Do something nice for someone. And just remind them that they're not alone and that you respect them and that you care about them. I love you. It's a wild ride out there, my friends. I am feeling it too. It's just like intense is an understatement. It is just, nothing makes sense. That's what I wanted to say. This is chaos energy. Is the perfect time to manifest. And if that's not your language, just keep your thoughts focused on what you do want. What is the life that you want for yourself, your VIP, your family, your team, your home, your flock? Focus on that. Yeah, everything else is happening. Yeah, I have a whole video when you need kind of a certain level of disassociation right now to function in the world, because everything, I'm very aware of everything that's going on, but you have to keep your blinders on and say, that's what I want. That's where I'm going. Yeah, chaos energy, it's paradigm jumping stuff, my guys. I love you. If you have any questions, comment below. Let me know what you're going through. And pardon me, as always, just send me an email if you don't feel safe or you don't feel comfortable or cozy to openly, on this very public platform, really share what your experiences are. But just send me an email. Let me know what you're going through. And I'm happy to listen and to hold space for you. You're not alone in this. Yeah. It's not, we celebrate the awakening around here. It's okay. Yeah, some of the most powerful people I know, and especially some of the people that I know that have been through the most guck, the grossest things, are some of the most grateful people that I know, and the most compassionate, and the ones that are of service. I love you all. This isn't easy stuff, so I'm really grateful for you, and I'm proud of what you're doing. So let me know how I can best help, and thank you for being here. I love you. I'll see you soon.